Hello, everyone, and welcome to the new episode of Hoops with Coop. I'm your host, Noel. I would like to say thank you to all of you for the first three episodes and the support. Hope you are having a great new year. But today we're just going to be talking about the state and landscape of the NBA. So, with further ado, let's get into it. I really wanted to start off talking about the Western Conference. And the Western Conference is still a little bit up in the air right now. The Denver Nuggets are currently your 1 seed. The Memphis Grizzlies are currently your 2nd seed. The Warriors are starting to find their rhythm. They're currently the 6th seed. And the Suns, who were the 1 seed last year, are currently under 500 right now. So a lot is going on in the West to the point where people honestly don't know who's coming out of the West. And the one team I failed to mention are the LA Clippers, who are probably the most confusing team, not only in the Western Conference, but in the entire NBA. So as of today, a lot of reports came out of, GM surveys and stuff like that. And one of the survey questions were, who do you think is going to win the Western Conference as of right now? And 30% of the voting went to the LA Clippers. Now, that's despite the fact that Kawhi has been unhealthy all year. Paul George is dealing with a hamstring. John Wall's a shell of his former self. Reggie Jackson, Marcus Morris, the whole team is just not meshing well. Kawhi and Paul George barely have played any games together. They're not a top 5 team in the West, but somehow, some way, people still look at them as having a deep roster, great coach. Kawhi's done it before, but maybe it's just not going to happen. Sometimes in the NBA, we like to hold the benefit of the doubt. We always like to, okay, maybe this is the year. Okay, maybe we'll do it. Maybe we'll let them figure it out. It's not the case. We've done it before with the Clippers, with the Doc Rivers team. We wait, whether it was the Chris Paul Lob City team, whether it was the first year of Kawhi and Paul George. We're like, okay, they're going to get it together, and it never happens. We did it with the 2004 Lakers when they lost to the Pistons. Okay, they'll get it together. It happens all the time. And maybe, just maybe, the Clippers are just never going to win it, at least with this core. And there are even reports coming out saying that after this year, if nothing happens, they might disband the group, which at this point, you have to. You simply have to. I know Kawhi got there and he wanted Paul George, but I'm not even saying this as it's Paul George's fault, but something is simply not clicking, whether it's the coach and the players, whether it's the players. It might just even be health at the end of the day. At some point, you have to give up. At some point, you have to look in the mirror and say, okay, it's just never going to work. So, unfortunately, I don't think the Clippers are the team to beat. I feel as though the Clippers are just simply not ever going to be a contender with this core. The Warriors are very interesting because it looked as though they were going to fall dramatically, especially at the beginning of the season. And with Steph getting hurt, it looked like it's just really bad, and it's just this team might not even make the playoffs and a bunch of stuff like that. But they've found their footing. Steph comes back tonight, actually, as I'm recording this. And the Warriors are the 6th seed, and who knows? Maybe they are the team that can represent the Western Conference. Maybe they find their footing. Maybe they make a trade, whether it's for a John Collins or Jaden McDaniels apparently is on the block in Minnesota. There are some players that are available. Even Kyle Kuzma up in Washington. There are players that are available for the Warriors to get, whether it's you trading the young core, whether it's, trading, actually they cannot trade Wiggins because they just gave him the extension. But who knows what else they can do? What about Draymond even because of the whole punch incident still? But, he's come back around. But, they still have the young core. They still have draft picks to move around. So maybe, just maybe, they're the team that comes out. Then you have the young guns. You have the Pelicans, Grizzlies, Nuggets. Those three are the interesting wild cards in a sense of we've never seen them do it before, but why can't they? And what happens? The Warriors were like that at one point. Oh, we've never seen them do it before. They went from almost beating the Spurs in the second round to losing in the first round to the Clippers in that great first round series that went to 7. And then they were on the run for a dynasty. Just like that. And you don't want to say it because they haven't been there before, but What if they just surpass and bypass all of the norms that we're accustomed to? So the Nuggets are one of them, as they're the 1 seed right now. Nikola Jokic having another MVP season, triple-double machine. Jamal Murray looks good. Michael Porter Jr. offensively is still off and on, but defensively he's been very up to speed as of late. His defense has been really good. Aaron Gordon has a great case to make it to the All-Star game. Then the bench, you have Bones Highland looking good, Bruce Brown hitting jump shots, great addition. The Nuggets look like a team to actually be reckoned with, especially at home. Now, their defense could be suspect at times, whether it's, one night a team will get hot from three or get hot in the paint. Either way, their offense is unstoppable right now. They have probably, I would say, the best. Them or the Celtics, but the Celtics have kind of fallen down. I would definitely say the Nuggets probably have the best offense right now, especially at home. The altitude, just like I watched Thomas Bryant the other night, looked like he was going to pass out on the court. He needed a break because of that altitude, and the Nuggets know to run. Even with players like Jokic who don't run, but still at the end of the day, like, they are a team to watch out for. Then you have the Grizzlies with Ja, Desmond Bane's back. Jaren Jackson's very good defensively. Steven Adams knows his role. The only issue with the Grizzlies will come down to Dillon Brooks. Now, will Dillon Brooks be the guy that wants to be the hero at the end of the games? Does he want to be the guy to defend? We never know with Dillon Brooks. Dillon Brooks is by far the biggest wild card on the Memphis Grizzlies. Whether they want to move him, whether they want to keep him, it looks like they'll keep him. The issue will always be with Dillon Brooks at the end of the day for them. Then you have the Pelicans. Their issue, health. Zion's hurt right now after he was going off. Brandon Ingram's still out with the toe injury. Herb Jones was out in the beginning of the year. CJ McCollum has been looking like the CJ McCollum of the past, but the issue with them is definitely going to be health. They look like a really good team. They're very deep. I would say they're the deepest in the West, maybe in the whole entire NBA. Them or Boston, but they have a chance to actually make some noise in playoffs. But health is the key. So you have those three teams as the young guns. You have the defending champs in the Warriors. I guess if you want to throw in the Clippers, then there are the Dallas Mavericks. But every time I watch the Dallas Mavericks play, it's hard to get through a whole entire game with them. I just don't like the ISO ball. They come up the court, ISO, maybe a pass to the corner, and then that's about it. If Luka doesn't have the ball in his hand, he's standing at half court. If Dinwiddie doesn't have the ball in his hand, he's standing at half court. It's a lot of 4-on-4, 4-on-5 type of basketball. It's hard to watch them. Luka is amazing. Luka can drag them to depending on matchups, can drag them to a conference finals like he did last year. But I can't see Luka and the Mavericks beating the Nuggets, Grizzlies, Warriors, Pelicans. I can't see them winning any of those type of rounds. But maybe if they get lucky, maybe if an injury so happens, I don't know. They need to make more moves, potentially in the offseason, I would say. I just don't see them really clicking as of right now. No one else in the West. I know Lakers fans, Lakers love talking about, if we trade the 2 picks, and if when AD comes back, LeBron, and all of that stuff. The Lakers are not winning the West. Simple as that. It's just not happening. It's okay. Maybe, if things move on next year with, Pat Beverly leaving, cap space, then you trade the picks, whatever. As of right now, for this season, the 2022-23 NBA season, the Los Angeles Lakers will not be winning the NBA championship with or without a trade. Okay? The best trade you could get probably right now is the Buddy Hield Miles Turner trade. And I'm sorry, but Miles Turner is a good center. He's good defensively. Buddy Hield, good shooter. That's not LeBron, AD, Buddy Hield, and Miles Turner to me is not a foursome for a championship. I'm sorry. I know LeBron is still LeBron at nights, but he is in year 20. It's kind of difficult. AD, I know as much as we want to see AD be successful and be great, he does not stay on the floor as of, you saw this season. He went on that crazy run just to get hurt again. Injured his ankle on the way up, and kind of like flipped it on Jokic. It like flicked in the air, and somehow he got hurt from that. I don't know what that was about, but he's hurt, and he's ramping up. Apparently, he's ramping up his recovery, his rehab. But the Lakers are not winning the championship with or without a trade. I know they just went on a hot streak, but sorry, Lakers fans, it's just not happening. It's just not. And then you want to go over to the Eastern Conference. It's the same teams. I mean, the Bucks have been struggling a little bit. The Celtics, kind of. The Nets are hot, but unfortunately, KD got hurt. He's definitely going to miss at least a month, maybe a little bit more with the sprained MCL. He's missed time with that injury prior, but apparently it's not as severe. So maybe he comes back sooner. Maybe he doesn't. Who knows? Sixers, Joel Embiid's hurt. I don't know if that's more bluffing and resting him, or he is actually dealing with like some pretty bad soreness. Who knows? I know Maxi's back. Maxi has improved with each game. Sixers look pretty good. But they need to get their full, their big trio together to see what they look like. Because in the beginning of the year, when they had their big three all together, it looked very, very weird. And either Joel didn't have a good game or Maxi didn't have a good game. Harden didn't know whether to score or whether to pass, and it just looked like a jumbled mess. And ever since then, they've looked good, but they've always missed at least one of the three, and in most cases, it was two of the three. So we'll see with that. Cleveland, they look good, but who knows what happens in the playoffs. I mean, Donovan Mitchell has been electric, and speaking of Donovan Mitchell, 71-point performance, one of the high-scoring games of all time. A masterpiece. It was just a masterpiece of a game. Now, that was after Luka with his 60-point triple-double. And I've been meaning to ask this, is there a real scoring problem in the NBA? And to a certain degree, there is. I'll never forget Luka saying, yeah, it's easier to score in the NBA than it is in the EuroLeagues because of multitude of reasons. But there's something that's going on where the scoring is just easy. Now, could it be the lack of defense? Maybe. Or even it could be just the evolution of the game. These players are bigger, better, stronger, faster. It's just going to happen over time. Now, are there ways to counteract it? Yes. But does the NBA want to counteract that? Now, that's the question. Offenses are blowing up, especially the scoring outputs, and it gets people watching. Now, some people might not like it to a certain degree because of how easy it is, and, it just kind of dilutes everything, but the NBA loves it. So are they going to make changes? Probably not. Some changes, you could look over to the Euro leagues, and you could see, maybe the defensive goaltending rules of being able to take the ball if it's on the rim. You can, eliminate the defensive 3-second rule. There are ways to counteract what's going on, but I doubt the NBA will ever want to do it. So those scoring outputs are going to stay. Now, if I had to pick right now, who is going to come out of each conference? Honestly, don't know, and that's okay. See, a lot of the things that NBA media loves to do, and you've seen it on Twitter, on ESPN, on Fox Sports, whatever, they love to give their analysis when nobody knows. It's inconclusive. And that is a big issue in basketball media right now. How many times do I have to see, out of these four players, who's going to start in the Eastern Conference? Between Tatum, Embiid, Durant, and Giannis. Guess what? It doesn't matter because all four of them are going to make it. I guess now it's easy because Durant's going to miss a month. But prior to that, all four are going to make it. It's the All-Star game. It matters more to be an All-Star than to who's actually playing in the All-Star game. I know, it's cool to watch your favorite player maybe win the All-Star game MVP or have a good All-Star game, but it doesn't matter. Or who's starting, it doesn't matter. If your favorite player or if a player is playing great enough, they're gonna make the All-Star game. Giannis, Joel, Durant, and Tatum are gonna make the All-Star game. It's okay. Then you go on to the West. If AD makes the starting lineup, when he obviously shouldn't because he's missed all the time, it doesn't matter. Someone else will replace him, whether it's Zion or Lauri Markkanen. It's okay. And then with the guards, Thank God Steph came back, because if Steph didn't, it would have turned into, well, who's going to get the last start? Who's going to get the second starting guard spot? It truly does not matter. They're going to make the All-Star game. And then you go to who after 30 games, who do you think's coming out the West? It doesn't matter. We don't know. You might have an idea, but guess what? An injury can happen. A trade can happen. That's why the whole Clippers coming out of the West thing is a joke. Because you still hold on to this hope of the Clippers after watching all these games just so you can have something to talk about. You really think they're on ESPN, they're going to have people come up there and say, you know who I think's coming out the West? Memphis. Who do I think's coming out the East? Milwaukee. It's going to be the Bucks versus the Grizzlies. No, they don't want that. They want to talk about the Clippers and the Lakers and the Brooklyn Nets and the LeBron Miami Heat, stuff like that. Like, it's okay to not know, but obviously they have to have talking points every day. It's just very tiresome. I've talked to a lot of my friends who are NBA fans, and it's just annoying. Who's going to win MVP after 10 games, or who's your All-NBA team after 10 games? And it's like, it's a fun exercise, but there's got to be a point where we stop the madness. There's got to be a point where we pause and be like, should we talk about this? How about we talk about how good this team looks, or how good, Tyrese Halliburton looks, or something like that. Like, let's just talk about that for a second. I don't really care who's going to be an all-star starter when they're clearly all going to be all-stars. 50, or is it 25? It's either 25 or 50% of the vote of the all-star starters are determined by the fans. Fans sometimes don't care about the stats. Fans are going to vote for who they like, who's on their team. It doesn't matter, and it's okay. They're going to make the All-Star game, okay? If Tyrese Halliburton doesn't start, and he might be the second or third, or the second best guard in the East, you think, he's still going to make it. If you think SGA is the second best guard in the West, he's still going to make it. If you think Lauri Markkanen is the third best forward in the West, or you don't like that Zion's not going to make it and LeBron is because LeBron is on a worse team, it doesn't matter. It's LeBron. So, do not care about who's starting for the All-Star game. And I know on Twitter it's going to be crazy when it comes out who's starting, and then when the All-Star draft happens, it's going to be even worse. Oh, who's picked last? Donovan Mitchell was picked last year, or the year before that, and I'm pretty sure Donovan Mitchell is a great top 20 player right now. Maybe top 15. He just shot 71 points. It doesn't matter, people. Just relax. Take a break. It's okay. So, that's all I wanted to talk about today. Hope you guys have a great rest of the week. Thank you for all the support. 4 episodes in, a lot more to come. I'll probably be recording on Tuesdays, posting on Wednesdays from here on out. So thank you so much. Have a good one. Take care.